I literally just got back to London, as you can see from the set, and on my first day I see my favorite person in the entire universe. Hi, this is my review of The Suicide Squad. Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and a collection of nutty cons at Belle Reve prison join the super-secret, super-shady Task Force X as they are dropped off at the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. And before I start with my review, welcome back to the old/new set. I'm not even sure what to call it because some of you might be new, but thank you so much for clicking on this video. Let me know your thoughts on the Suicide Squad, if you're excited for it, if you've already seen it, if you're from here in the UK. Let me know all of that in the comments below. Throw it all down there. And if this is your first video that you're watching from me, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Why don't you consider clicking the subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content and always want to be aware of whenever I upload more great content. Let's get this out of the way. I was not a fan of the original Suicide Squad, but I did like Harley Quinn in it. Margot Robbie is my favorite person in the entire world. Harley Quinn is my favorite female comic book character of all time. This movie, with James Gunn at the helm, with no strings attached, is freaking awesome. I describe it as a chaotic symphony of insanity, because there is so much going on, yet on the hands of James Gunn, it all adds up. Character interactions in this film are brilliant. They are character defining, they work as character moments, and you honestly don't ever forget the interactions between two characters because they're all so different and unique unto themselves. Bloodsport interacts very differently with Peacemaker than interacts with Ratcatcher 2, or the way he interacts with King Shark, or the way he interacts with Harley Quinn. The characters in this film are written in such a rich, compelling way. I was astounded. And these characters are rich because we don't just see the people on the mission, we see who they were before. We see them basically examining themselves at points at how they got to this, to what is happening right now. I think James Gunn always writes these not good people in his movies in such a compelling, interesting, and complex way that they're mirrors of who we are on a day-to-day. Sometimes when we do less good things and start to judge ourselves a little bit. And James Gunn pours his heart and soul not necessarily into this story, because the story is all kinds of wacky and nutty, and it's all the more fun and funnier for that, but he pours his heart and soul and his complications into these characters, and he makes them real people because of that. And James Gunn was able to cherry pick whoever he puts in this film, how he uses them, what they are there for, and he does it in such an impeccable manner. Idris Elba as Bloodsport has immediately become one of my favorite supervillains in anything, honestly. He's so awesome, and James Gunn knows we're not supposed to like these people, but he weaponizes that and actually makes them compelling in their own way, because he makes us understand these people, how they see the world, how the world has treated them throughout their entire lives. And his main theme throughout this film is actually beautiful, and the way it applies not only to the characters, but to the relationships they form throughout this film. And honestly, nothing I tell you about how Margot Robbie plays Harley Quinn in this film is going to surprise you, given that it's coming from me. She's incredible in this role. She's having the time of her life playing her in this film. Everyone is having the time of their lives, let's be fair, but Margot Robbie just goes completely insane in this. Harley Quinn goes insane in this film. This is basically a highlight reel of the most awesome things Harley Quinn has ever done in anything, and we love her for it, and it's here. We see so many things from her perspective to make things funny or to make things emotional, but the personality of this character, of all these characters, shines through and guides the narrative. And this movie's secret weapon, which, being honest with you, I was not looking forward to, completely surprised me, Daniela Melchior playing Ratcatcher 2. She is the heart and soul of this film. She holds the team and by proxy the film together, and she infuses so much heart and emotion into everyone she comes into contact with, and by proxy, the audience. There is such a sweet story to who this character is and how this story informs who she is and her powers. I actually got emotional watching this film. Not because of anything particular that the film does that is a spoiler or anything, but they maintain the actress's roots in the characters. The character herself is Portuguese. She comes from Portugal, from the city of Porto, which is where I live. And they showed my beautiful city in this film for brief instances. And these are not spoilers, so don't worry. And 95% of national Portuguese films don't do that. And this film did it. A superhero film, the thing I probably love the most in the world. And it showed my city. With all the beautiful lights in the evening, the river, the buildings, the streets that I know and grew up on, and James Gunn in the Suicide Squad gave me that. This doesn't make the movie any better or any worse, honestly, but to me, it meant the world to see it in something that I already kind of love and am excited for by proxy. So I went off on kind of on a tangent there, but I truly want to thank James Gunn for that, for capturing my beautiful city and having it mean so much to this character, to who she is, and capturing it so authentically. The film is also very hard R. It earns its R rating with a lot of blood, lots of guts. There's a sequence where Peacemaker and Bloodsport are having a competition on not who kills the most, but who kills in the coolest way possible, and it's as hilarious as you can think of. King Shark is my pet. I want him as a pet. He is freaking awesome. This film is just bursting with personality, with rich characters, with insane, wacky sequences, and yes, it is really funny. From the very beginning, the film cracks you up, and it's a very small story, honestly. Without spoilers, when you think about it, this is a very small mission that they take on in terms of a time frame. And it really works on the crunch time, it really works to make you laugh, the action is insane, and the tension is always there because there are so many sides on which our characters can be attacked. Obviously, from the big thing that they didn't show in the trailer, so I'm not sure if I can talk about it or should, so I'm not going to. The military in Corto Maltese, then you got Amanda Waller ready to press that button to make their heads explode. It's so well done how James Gunn puts the pieces in play just in case they have to be used. The Suicide Squad honestly is just a really incredibly fun time. I didn't have any big issues with it. I do have a few small issues. The film can struggle a bit with pacing. Sometimes beautiful, emotional, and compelling character moments just kind of show up out of nowhere in what feels like the wrong time, and there are one too many times where the film just says 8 minutes earlier, or 1 day earlier, or 1 week earlier, and just goes back and forth in time a little bit too much to show certain events that were happening alongside at the same time of other things that we already seen, and I just felt that killed the pacing one times too many during the film. I also felt that unfortunately the hand-to-hand combat sequences when they are there are not very well shot. Sometimes there's one sequence with Harley Quinn when she's fighting some soldiers alone, that's all I'll say. That's really well done. Apart from that, sometimes you see characters go at it one-on-one, and it's not the type of action I like to see, at least the way it was shot. The Suicide Squad is as insane as you've been hearing it. It's chaotic from beginning to end. It holds quite a bit of surprisingly good and well done emotionality to it. These characters are extremely rich. They've become some of the most standout characters in the DCU, and I hope James Gunn comes back to this. He comes back to them because he directed something truly special in this film. I'm giving the Suicide Squad a B+. And so those are my thoughts on the Suicide Squad. What was your favorite moment in the film, if you've seen it? If not, what do you hope to see in the film? Let me know all of that in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Stay tuned for many more reviews to come very soon. My review for Batman The Long Halloween Part 2 is already up, and you can click that if you want to check that out. And so I'll see you in the next one, and until then, love each other and love the movies.